Good morning. It is Sunday, and I always say Friday the 13th isn't just the day, it's the weekend. It's Friday the 13th weekend. I didn't get to pop on part 2 of something happened Friday night, life happened, so I had to stop, okay? But we are continuing. Today is Sunday. Got the house to myself. We're going to do Friday the 13th part 2. This will be a very unique DWatch, I guess, because it's the first time that I've ever split it over 2 days. So this is going to be fun and interesting. All right, all the shout outs will be honored. I stated that on Killer Flicks Instagram. So thank you guys for your patience, and I'll make this one extra special, I promise. Anyway, on to part 2, but first I'm going to go get my run in. As a matter of fact, opening the door right now. And it's a gorgeous day outside. This is the door I walk out of, and I go across the street right over there. There's a track over there, and you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna take you across the street, and I'm gonna show you where I start my run. Okay? So I love you guys that much. You waited this long. Might as well spoil you a little bit. All right. This is my neighborhood. Love my neighborhood. Just, you know, little pink houses, right? Any John Mellencamp fans or John Cougar Mellencamp? And which do you prefer, John Cougar Mellencamp or just John Mellencamp? Okay, I have questions for you guys. Okay, this is another row of houses here, but this, you can see, is the trail, and that trail runs for probably 30 miles. I think it's just a big circle around this part of Orlando. Technically, I'm not in Orlando, I'm in Winter Springs. But yeah, and I usually run this way, and you can see that big bridge up there. And that takes you, if you cross that bridge, it takes you over to like more of the shopping area of Winter Springs. It's beautiful. But you can see this morning, it's really nice. Feels like about 60 degrees. Got a nice lake over there. Yeah, so let me go get my run on and then get showered. And then we're gonna get this thing going with Friday the 13th part 2. Okay, whew, that was a good run. I'm freshly out of the shower. It's time to do this. Here we go. Friday the 13th part 2, the Shout Factory newest edition. First time watching this particular transfer, new 4K scan. Let's go ahead and hit the play button. Let's go ahead and hit the play button. Here we go. Just your remote, like this is my remote. Sometimes it just don't want to work, and I'll change the batteries, but it uses those like round lithium batteries. And sometimes I have to just give it a tap, like a little tap to get the damn thing to work. All right, it's annoying. But this is a Steve Miner film. You got the kid. Well, I always forget there's this kid walking at the beginning of the movie. You know. By the way, this is in the daytime. This is morning. This is lunchtime. I'm actually gonna make my spaghetti here in a minute, but he bumps into Jason. Boom, there he is, Jason. He's got his jeans on. Is he wearing overalls there, guys? I can't tell. I can't tell. Alice, that's an old house too. That looks like a haunted house. I always like those creepy old houses. All right, so right now they're doing the recap. She's dreaming. She's thinking about what happened at the end of the first Friday. Now, I did mention just recently, I did a top 10 FU in the sequel countdown. And I stated that Alice, which was my number 1, is she the first? Like, she might be the first heroine to come back in the next movie, and then they just freaking discard her immediately. Get her the hell out of there. And if I remember correctly, I think Adrienne King thought that, like, when she came to set that day, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she didn't know that she was going to die. I don't think she thought she was going to be the final girl, but I thought, or she thought that she had a bigger role. Maybe she did think she was going to die, but if I remember correctly, and I should have asked Adrienne King this when I saw her last year at Spooky Empire. By the way, Adrienne King What a sweet, like what an absolute kind sweetheart person. I sat and I talked with her for, I'd say a good 10 minutes, and she was just so giving of her time and so friendly. And she's tiny. She's like a lot smaller than I thought she would be, you know, because I guess the big screen, it makes people look bigger than they really are. But man, she stands like to here to me. She's very, very small and petite and lovely and just a very nice, kind person. And I did talk to her about Jason Rising too and how she was in that movie. God bless you, Adrian King. But yeah, they're still doing the you know, the big old fight between, you know, and they look like they put the work in that day, you know? And that's Betsy Palmer and Adrian King, you know, no stunt doubles. And I don't know if maybe back in the day, actors were more prone to putting themselves in a little bit more danger than they are now, you know? I'm sure that they had some bumps and bruises at the end of that day, right? But guys, this DVD, and if you sent me this, let me know, all right? So you guys always send me these great horror gifts and whatnot. But I just noticed this. I do prefer this book packaging, you know, like Die Hard has one of these, and a couple others. But, Indiana Jones has one. And of course, the Friday Blu-ray set has one too, but this is the DVD set. But one thing I didn't notice about this was that it has these fun facts. Theatrical release date, ranked #1 at the box office opening weekend, budget $1,250,000. This is for part 2. Body count 10, weapons used 9. What other property are you going to see you know, liner notes like this in the casing, in the packaging? You know, you probably see documentaries that say stuff like that, but that is just too freaking cool. You know, and you can go through these, and you know, they tell you body count for part 4, the final chapter, 14, weapons used 9. You know, and that's one thing I love about Jason. Creativity. You know, he doesn't just use a machete. He'll use anything that's he'll use a telephone if it's near him, you know? Love the guy. Love the guy to death. There he is. You freaking beautiful bastard. Man, this is padding right here, okay? Because we are probably a good 10 minutes into the movie, and we're still thinking back to the first movie. And then there she is. She's going to get killed at the beginning of the movie. You know, violently too. You know, with a nice, looks like an ice pick to the temple. Not fun at all. But you know, just padding. They I don't want to say drag out, but they're trying to suspend the tension. You know, that's what they're trying to do in these movies. Friday Part 2 was my #1 for the longest time, and it goes back and forth between 2 and 4 constantly. Those two will never be dethroned for Friday. I don't care. I will be shocked if a new Friday movie comes out and it dethrones those two movies. I think those two movies are near perfection. And just funny enough, part 2, I think, has some of the best characters. It has a very unique Jason. This isn't a Jason with a hockey mask. I like this hat kid. I do, you know? And if I go up here, I already got things going for you guys. Oh, and by the way, guys, that's my pull-up bar. And you can do like 3 different types of pull-ups. You can probably hang upside down on that thing if you want to, but I like to put it right next to the studio. So sometimes I feel so inspired, I'll say, you know what? Let's go ahead and pump out however many we can pump out, you know, pull-ups. And I'll do all 3 different types, you know, because there's like a curling type, and there's like a, you know, like a forearm type, I think. And then you got your regular pull-up. But yeah, it just helps me keep in shape. I'm getting old, right? I got the Footloose soundtrack playing right now. And I got part 7 playing up here for you guys. All right, so every now and then we'll walk up here, maybe reminisce a little bit about part 7, which is, I like part 7. John Carl Buechler. I think there's a better version out there that we'll never see, but I have a lot of fun with this one, and they changed the game up by putting Jason against a quote-unquote worthy opponent, you know, at least an opponent that can match him in terms of like skill and abilities, you know, supernatural elements, all that. Tina Love Tina. Laura Park Lincoln. She was great in this. And I'm holding out for a hero. Okay, it's lunchtime. Yesterday I made some homemade spaghetti, and I do make, like, I can go get spaghetti and it won't be as good as the spaghetti I make, right? And I always love leftover spaghetti. It's one of the few meals that's actually better left over, right? So there's your noodles, there's your sauce. I'm starving. After a run, you are starving, and I'm gonna enjoy this. So this is the old trick right here. And that's all they show, I think. Yeah, okay. So that's the old trick. They keep you on this like line of tension, you know, draw out the tension, and then they drop the tension, and you feel like everything's okay, and she sees the, what does she got, a cat or a dog or something like that? And then almost immediately after, I think it's the dog, is it? No, it's a cat, okay. Yeah, and almost immediately after she opens the fridge, and boom, there it is, you know, the head. And that's freaking tension 101. That's how you do it. You know, you string them along as long as you can, but sometimes you don't keep it going until boom. Sometimes you drop it and then you raise it back up, and that's what they do, you know. But you got to make that payoff work. You got to make that good. You don't want to do all that and then give them a whimper, you know. You definitely want to give them a bang. So that's what that does. So the way I do this is I put my noodles, if I do leftovers, I put my noodles in the microwave for like an hour, a minute. And then I throw this in the microwave for like a minute. And then, hold on, let me do this. Express cook a minute, okay. And then after that, I put it in here with a little bit of water, low heat, and I just stir until it starts steaming a little bit. And boy, is it delicious. Probably one of the most rewatched scenes of the franchise, Kristen. Now, full disclosure, guys, I think, for me, for my money, Kristen, hottest babe in the Friday franchise, okay? No bones about it. Yeah, that's just it. Where is she these days? Is her name even, or is her real name Kristen? Kristen Baker? I think it's Kristen Baker. But yeah, she was a looker, for sure. And like, I think she did some conventions here and there, but I mean, I'm talking like years and years ago. Like, I have not seen her pop up on the circuit. I think maybe she wants her privacy. I don't know. But the old slingshot to the hiney, yeah. Could they do that today? I don't even know if they could do that today, guys. Would somebody raise a ruckus on Twitter if they did that? I don't care. Ginny, another thing about this, she is my favorite final girl in the franchise and one of my all-time favorite final girls. She's probably at least in my top 3. I actually had a conversation with Amy Steele, who, again, an absolute sweetheart. You know, I think I don't want to single out any franchises, but the Friday franchise alumni, I would put them at the top as far as like the kindest, sweetest, most giving celebrities out of all other franchises. Now, I haven't talked to a lot of celebrities. I've talked to some, and my money's on Friday. They're just the salt of the earth. They're the sweetest people. And yeah, what was I talking about? Amy Steele. Now I'm waiting on my spaghetti. I put my breadsticks in the oven. They're like 10 minutes. So I don't want to eat my breadsticks until they are dipped in my spaghetti, you know? The blade is not returned to the sheath until it has spilled blood, right? So, Amy Steele, though, I asked Amy Steele this: why is it that Ginny is considered one of the best? What is it about her? Because she doesn't have superpowers or anything like that. And Amy Steele made it make sense, because she said Ginny is afraid. Ginny knows that she could easily get killed. You know, she doesn't go in there thinking that she's going to win. But she's very smart, you know, like the scene where she gathers all the information she can about the situation, and that, you know, Jason's mother is a key factor here, and so she makes herself look like Jason's mother. So she goes back in, and she faces the evil head on. You know, evil being Jason. It's that, but I think it's also a recipe of other factors too, like how likable she is as a character. She's extremely likable. She's easy to look at. That doesn't hurt, okay? I'm gonna be honest with you here. That doesn't hurt in a final girl if they're easy to look at. But you know, if you have all these boxes, these factors that are needed for a final girl, she checks just about all of them, okay? You could take a final girl like Erin from You're Next, and you know, obviously her strength is that she is a freaking warrior. You know, she's like a female Rambo. So she has that box ticked probably above everybody else. But I think Jeannie is a more well-rounded final girl. You know, she has just a lot of qualities that are very, very, very likable. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. That's going to be good. Do I want a Mountain Dew or do I want a Coke? I think I'm going to get a Coke. Yeah, Coke sounds good. An ice cold Coke. Ugh. I tell you, a Coke with spaghetti, man. I know some of you might say a beer with spaghetti. I don't drink beer. I don't drink, so. I just had a realization, and it might show how dumb I am, but pretty much every Friday movie could be technically a remake. Think about it. It's the exact same plot for most of these movies. You have this group of camp counselors. They show up at Crystal Lake. Jason kills them. That's it. It's the exact same plot. Hell, even the characters are pretty much similar archetypes. You know, you got the jock, you got the nerdy kind of guy, you got the hot chick, you got the girl next door. I mean, everything. Like, technically, these could all just be remakes according to remake standards. Hell, the remake to Friday is probably the most different from the rest of the franchise, except for maybe Jason Goes to Hell. I mean, think about that, guys. It's kind of silly. Levi is playing with his toy. You like your little toy, buddy? Yeah. We're getting to the scene where Kristen Baker just popped her head up. And then the guy that's really jonesing for her really, really bad, he's hanging upside down and he's about to get his neck slit. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's go upstairs and let's see how the New Blood's doing. Okay? And then we're going to do those promised shout-outs for the killer flicks. I'll do those right now, and then maybe a little later in the video, maybe at the end of the video, I'll do the rest of the Instagram. Look at that. Walked right into a kill. Kane Hodder looks so freaky. Like, this might be the best looking Jason, the one from part 7. And that's like, you can't dispute that, guys. Really, there's no, you got nothing. You got nothing this time, okay? Kane Hodder, part 7, best looking Jason. Not my favorite Jason overall, but as far as looks go, yeah. The camera loves him, okay? That thing she's holding, that's a spike for a tent. Just in case some of you are ill-informed. I've set up many a tent in my military days, okay? Okay, guys, let's do those Facebook Killer Flicks shout-outs. All right. We got Jason McMurtry. He says, if any wants the first 8 Friday the 13th films, they're on sale at Xbox Microsoft Store for $13 today only. So I'm late on that one. But hopefully some of you guys saw his message. Anthony Herrera says, parts 1 and 2 have the best atmosphere, creepy and dark. Erica Bro says, would love a shout out. There you go, Erica. Ethan Rose says, I'd like one, your favorite sub, laugh out loud. Holly Klein, she loves DWatches. She says, Friday the 13th and a DWatch makes my heart happy. Makes my heart happy too. I always love doing these. Megan Kathleen Carroll says, hell yeah. Jason Leonard says, I'll take one lead. Thanks for doing another DWatch. Joseph Wade Walters, I think it's a young Homer. David Capp says, I'm so glad that you chose these 2 films. I'm aware this is an unpopular opinion, but Friday the 13th and Friday the 13th Part 2 are probably my favorite in the franchise. Friday the 13th Part 2 is still my favorite Friday, whether that's when I was in elementary school, or whether then that's when I was in elementary school when it came out. And luckily my parents let me watch horror movies with them, and I loved it. Probably seen it over 100 times. My parents were really protective of me watching horror movies, but I did sneak around. Like, I would sneak down the hallway, and I would peek over at what they were watching. And if they were gone, then of course I would watch Friday the 13th on HBO. I watched a lot of stuff on HBO. HBO was pretty much my gateway to horror back in the 80s. Tony Andrews says, I'll take one and give a shout to the rest of Killer Flickers. Yes, thank you. I love my Killer Flickers, for sure. Corey Nelson says, happy Friday the 13th. Happy Friday the 13th to you. Antoine, what's up, brother? He says, I'll take a shout out if it's not too late. And he's got a freaking video. Amy Steele. Hold on.
Hey, Killer Flicks. This is Amy Steele, Ginny from Friday the 13th Part 2. And you guys have really, really good taste in your final girl choices. Not them dead.
Oh my God, could you ask for better than that? Antoine, you are amazing. You are amazing. Antoine, you got to message me and tell me, was that like just this weekend that you got that? That's so freaking cool. Jason Nike says, hell yes, love the OG Friday the 13th. Brandon Meacham says, me if it's not too late. Chris Lawson says, yay! Chris Lawson says, love DWatch, is awesome movie. Frankie Ramos says, would love a shout out. Hope all is okay, Lee. Happy Friday the 13th to everyone. Yes, everything's peachy, just peachy. Thank you, Frankie. Dylan Wyatt Brown says, me. Dead Camp SKGB says, please, can please get a shout out, Lee, because Friday the 13th is favorite franchise ever. And Chris Gavin says, definitely give me a shout out. Keep up the great work. Chris, you get the last one for Killer Flicks. So this young lady, she gets thrown out of the same window as the one in part 4. I think they reshot the scene. And I don't know if she was actually, maybe they used the stunt lady, because I know she didn't go out the window. But yeah, we're going to see her get knocked right out the fucking window. Here we go. With a nice head there. Here comes Jason. Oh, I'm glad I'm doing this upstairs here too. You get 4 Friday movies for the price of 2, guys. 4 for the price of 2, which is free. Yeah. And that's a guy, and they shaved his legs. He had nice legs, I'll give him that. So we just came from a post coital. Is that the right word? Coital? And then we're going to a hopefully coital, which it's not going to work out for her though. Poor thing. And unfortunately, the in real life, the guy who was in the wheelchair was gay. So it definitely wasn't going to happen. Poor thing. That's tough. And he wasn't gay in the movie, but imagine if he was gay in the movie. That'd be tough. You go to camp to be a camp counselor, and there's a good chance that you can hook up with somebody, and the one guy you want to hook up with, he's gay. So that's rough. You know, it's rough. She strikes out, and she didn't get a chance to maybe go for another counselor, you know? This is a shot that could only be in a Friday the 13th movie, right? No shame whatsoever. What happened to nudity in horror? Nudity is still there, and this is a debate to be had. Is nudity necessary in horror? For me, I think it is. And this goes across the board, men and women, okay? But like, I was just watching Scream 4 again yesterday. Scream documentary is coming along, all right? I'm in the editing phase of it right now. The wife's script is really great. This is gonna be a really long documentary, but at the beginning of Scream 4, Ghostface says, and maybe we'll get some nudity in this one, that joke that he says, and of course we don't get any nudity in the movie. Scream's like, you know what? Surprise us in Scream 6 and give us some nudity. Could it possibly happen? Maybe it's not necessary in Scream, you know? Maybe it depends on the franchise. But for Friday, at least in the Friday remake, they definitely have nudity. Stupendous nudity, so. I just missed the wheelchair kill. He got the axe to the face, or not the axe, the machete to the face. It's a great kill, but you know what? We've seen it 100 times, so I don't have to go back. But yeah, what a great kill. One of the best kills in the Friday franchise, for sure, you know. Friday the 13th, it's an equal opportunity franchise. They will kill you. They don't matter. They don't care if you're black, if you're white, if you're in a wheelchair. If you walk on your hands, they don't give a shit. They will kill you happily. If you're gay, it doesn't matter. So this kill right here, many of you know by now, is pretty much, I don't know if you'd call it an homage or a complete ripoff, but of the shish kebab kill from Twitch of the Death Nerve. And that's a much better presented kill too, because they show it. You know, they show everything. Whereas this one, you kind of get the spike at the bottom of the bed, but you know, it was neutered. I'm sure there's an unrated version, I'm sure, but Bay of Blood / Twitch of the Death Nerve, that is a great camp slasher from 1968, 69, something like that. And that kill is legendary. It is go time. Amy Steele, she is putting in the work right now, putting in the man hours to study the science. She's kicking major ass. And there's a couple of little scares like that, you know? Little jump scares that work. I'd say Friday Part 2 and Part 1 both have amazing jump scares. So jump scares aren't always a bad thing, guys, all right? It's just got to be done right. And usually there's no CGI involved. Should I do like a top 10 longest final acts in horror history? I would have to do some research on that one. As a matter of fact, if you want, maybe give me a contender in the comments. But Part 2's got a pretty damn long final act. You know, it's like what I mean by that is the final girl, the first time she is confronted with the killer till the end of the movie. You know? Ooh, there's Crazy Ralph. I forgot that. He made an appearance right at the end. But yeah, you know what? Right, case in point right here. Freaking Jenny is not wasting time. She's getting the hell out of there. She attacks when she needs to attack, but she runs when she needs to run, because sometimes you need to fucking run. And she does. This is kind of one of those stop, go final acts. You know, you run, and then you stop like this, and you're confronted with Jason, and then you're running again, and then you stop. So, but it works. It's a really good final act. And I don't care what Jason's wearing on his head. The movie itself is great. Jason is scary. He's really, like, stuff like that. You know, that's just great. Freaking pitchfork coming at the top of the car. Yeah, look at that. That's just awesome. So they're making the best use out of every scene that they can. You know, okay, now we're gonna set our camera up here, and we're gonna run through this whole sequence. So what can we do in this sequence? You know, maybe put a pitchfork through the roof, get a little artistic with the hand popping up. You know, I wanted to showcase this other kill too, the girl that was trying to get with the guy in the wheelchair. I like the style of that kill too, how you had the blurred image, and then it comes into frame as the knife is coming towards her. Great stuff. Eating an Oreo. What's your favorite cookie? Okay, mine's an Oreo. I love Oreos. Still going on. She's under the bed. Now, a lot of confusion here. People thought that maybe Jenny pissed, but I think it was the rat that pissed, right? But I think there's another final act going on upstairs. Let's go up there and let's see if Tina and Jason are going at it, all right? Yeah, we're near the end of this, and oh my God, he looks freaking badass. Damn, nice showdown. Also, another gay guy in real life. I forgot about that. The love interest of Tina is gay. Am I doing like the gay Friday the 13th movies? So yeah, the dad, that makes no sense. The dad decides to come out of the water and pull down Jason. Okay, that's believable. I'm breathing heavy because I ran up the stairs. That was John Carl Buechler, I think. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, he picked up the mask. So look at that. Good thing we came up here. We caught the ending. I know I didn't give you a lot of Part 7 and Part 8, but I gave you some, right? I gave you a little bit to wet your whistle, okay? So you still got 4 Friday movies in one video. Now, this is definitely one of the best final acts of the franchise. You know, I think they could have tightened it up a little bit, but it's it's cool because it borrows heavily from the ending of the first movie in that we see Pamela's head. A nice moment where Jenny's getting smart and resourceful and she becomes Pamela Voorhees. And guys, we still have quite a bit to go in this final act, you know? Yep, here we go. She's talking to Jason.
When you don't will it, Mommy is pleased.
Mommy's pleased. I can't believe they got Betsy Palmer to come back for this sequel, to do that little scene. She probably did it in her apartment too, or her house. Using a little bit of psychology in the final act. What's the guy's, the stunt, because it wasn't Warren Gillette, it was the other guy. Steve Dash. Steve Dash, who passed away a few years ago. She really cut his finger when she went down, and they had to put stitches in him. All right, big moment. One of my favorite all-time moments of the franchise. Muffin. That's it. That's it, Muffin. It's Muffin. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. We had such a great DWatch, didn't we? No, I'm not. Don't worry. We're gonna do this. We're gonna show you what's really the best scene. You know, kind of the same thing they did. You know, they even have some nice music going here. It's like, what if they really ended? Yeah, there we go. Fuck yeah, let's fucking party. Love it. Let's go. Oh my God, this is awesome. And that drove her crazy. She went through that whole thing. And the ending is, does our final girl make it out safe and sane? Hell no. She's admitted to an insane asylum. I think they called her back for part 3 too, and she said no. But I think Amy, she kind of regrets not coming back for part 3, but that would have been interesting too if you had a final girl in 2 consecutive movies. Has that happened in Friday? Let me think, hold on. 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think so. I think, yeah. I mean, you've had a final guy. You've had, ooh, look at that face. You've had Tommy Jarvis. But it's different actors. That's it, guys. This was so much fun. I'm going to do those Instagram shoutouts before we leave right now. Let's knock them out, okay? Okay, running through these. Vinny Lima. What's up, Vinny? Dave Vanderhoff, horror movie and beer. I do. Happy Friday the 13th, Lee. Rob 13. I'm not going to do the numbers, but Rob, I love Friday the 13th. Love the ending, the characters. Love Friday the 13th Part 2. Part 2 has great kills. Yes, it does. Will do to Happy Friday the 13th. Can't forget to watch the classic Saturday the 14th tomorrow. I should have watched it yesterday. If I hearted it, I've already done it. G Raff 71. Look forward to this one. Let's go. I am Eric. I freaking love this franchise and the movie as well. Stephen Wyatt says, I really like this movie. It may become my favorite of the series. We shall see. We shall see. Terradome, or Terradrome, watch part 2 and part 6 today. Nice. As Cities Burn. Right movie for the right day. What can I say? What can I say? 'Tis the day for Jason to stay on his very special day. There's a lot of rhyming in that post. Evie Smith, happy Friday the 13th, Lee. Have fun watching. Nick Babbs says, happy Friday the 13th. I'm currently watching part 6. Thomas Baker says, Friday the 13th, Jason Lives is my go-to movie to watch on Friday the 13th. And hello. As Cities Burn, slay again. All right. Midnight by Winter, yes. Robert Richmond, he says, I was watching Friday part 4, the final chapter, and part 5, A New Beginning, last night, Lee. Awesome. That's a good double feature. Uriel Adams says, happy Friday the 13th, bro, and I'm watching the 2009 remake right now, and you can see it on my post, bro. Happy Friday the 13th. That is Bloody Obsession, 666. And that's it. Trivia question, how long is Jason's machete? You know, is it like maybe a 20-inch machete or a 15-inch or maybe a 7-inch machete? How long is Jason's machete? Does it ever even tell you how long his machete is? I don't even know. I don't even know. But anyway, guys, that is it. Thank you guys so much. This is gonna be a long fucking video. Love you guys. Happy Friday the 13th weekend. Be good to each other.